Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Adventures of the Memory Makers. And today we're going to do part 2 of Cindy learning how to back up the trailer. Now it's kind of cold out here today. I'm nice and comfy because I have on my generic Carhartts and a thing for my ears, but Sam's a little chilly and that's his own fault.
I'm just getting used to the cold.
I guess.
This is called conditioning for me.
Okay.
So today what we're going to do is just get Cindy going with her golf cart. We've got it set up with dual side mirrors, just like a regular tow vehicle would have. And we're just going to let her have at it. We've got it set up with a trailer that I use in the woods to haul firewood. I crashed that thing into trees. She physically can't hurt anything with this setup. And we're just going to go over the basics with her and get her started and just let her have the whole driveway. We've got several areas here on our drive that if she wants to try to back into, she can. But this is something that she really just needs to have time in the seat learning to do. So that's our goal for today.
I'm not nervous. I'm really not nervous about this because I don't think I can hurt anything. But I think the first time I sit behind the wheel of the truck, I think I'm going to be nervous and I might cry.
She's not nervous, and I'm only shaking because I'm cold, so it's all good. So what we're going to get Cindy started with on her learning to tow venture here is our Yamaha gas-powered golf cart. We've got this set up that we use just crawling through the trails in the woods on our property. I've added additional mirrors on the side. We have a rear view mirror up at the top, and then we also have dual side mirrors now so that she can see down the sides of the vehicle and in the trailer so that she can learn to back. We've got the golf cart set up so that she is comfortable in the seat, because when we first got this, she was bouncing around all over the place and her feet were having a hard time reaching the pedals. So what I did was I made a modification here on the back of the seat rest where I pull these two pins out and I pull the seat rest forward and put the pins back in. And now she is able to, there you go. So now she is able to sit in the seat with her back against the seat rest and have her feet on the pedals just like she would in a car with an adjustable seat. So we've got the golf cart, and the trailer that we're going to use today to get her started is a 4x6 trailer that I use in the woods to haul firewood out. It's a very durable trailer, and the great thing about it for this application for Cindy learning to back is the length of this tongue versus our tow vehicle. So she can literally have this trailer all the way around to almost 90 degrees or even a little beyond before she would ever pinch anything, and that's called the jackknife point. So there's no worry about her getting to that point. If she gets to that point and beyond, we're going to have a chat because she went too far. But I think this is going to be a good setup for her just to get the basics down, working with the mirrors, working with the trailer. And like I said, it's just all about having time in the seat doing this. So let's get Cindy in the golf cart and we'll get her mirrors set forward and we're going to turn her loose. Okay, are you ready for this adventure?
I am. I did have a friend, Michigan Julie, sent me a text and said, after she watched the video, and said, you know, sometimes it's not always good for a spouse to teach you how to back up. And we'll see if that's true. Hopefully, we're going to prove her wrong.
Well, first of all, let me clarify. I'm not going to teach you how to do this. I'm just going to keep you from getting yourself in trouble, because this is something that you really just need to learn yourself. Once someone, gets you set up and you get the basics, the concept down, it's all about you just spending time doing this and learning how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're comfortable in the seat and that you can reach your pedals.
Yep.
So you got your backrest set up the way you want it.
Yep.
So now that you're sitting in the position that you're going to be when you're driving the vehicle, you need to look at your side mirrors. And this may not be how everyone sets their mirrors up, but this is what works best for me. So when I look to the left or towards me, and look at that side mirror on your driver's side, I want to see just the corner of my tow vehicle and then see down the whole side of my trailer.
I can.
So I don't want to be adjusting my head. I just want to be able to turn my head or even my eyes and look over and see that mirror.
I can.
On the passenger side, the same situation. You want to see just down the edge of your tow vehicle, like the rear corner of the tow vehicle, and then see the trailer behind it.
Got it.
Now, the one thing that I also like, and this may just be because of what I wind up backing into a lot. So I back into a lot of people's driveways that have culverts. I like to be able to see the tire of my trailer in the bottom portion of my mirror.
Yes, I can see it better on this one than I can that one, but I can see it if I lean over a little bit.
Okay. Well, we can adjust that and fix that. But what I like about that, to be able to see that tire, is when you're backing into a driveway that has a culvert, if you're just looking at the trailer itself, it's easy to drop that inside or outside tire off in the ditch that culvert's for. If you can see the tire, you can accurately place it wherever you want it to be. If you can't see it, you have no idea where it's at.
That makes sense.
So you want to be able to see that tire when you look down.
Okay.
So from that point now, and we've watched a lot of videos, you especially, on people showing people how to do this. And they try to make it as simple as put your hand in the bottom of the steering wheel, and if you want the trailer to go right, turn the wheel to the right. Is that what you've seen?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out this is right.
Okay. So why is that going to be a problem for us today?
Well, I'm one of the lucky people in this world. I even hate to admit it, that I don't know my right from my left, especially if someone gives a command, turn right or turn left. I don't do well with that. And I need cues like turn towards the driver or turn towards the passenger or I don't know, turn towards a tree. I need to use landmarks instead of the word right or left.
And I can attest to the fact that she is telling the truth to this, because when Cindy and I first got together, we had several issues with the whole right and left thing. And then she explained to me, now there's one time that you do better with right and left, and when is that?
When I'm facing east. I don't know why that is, but if that's east, if I'm facing east, I know that's right. But otherwise, if I get turned around, I can't do it. And so when we learned to sail, you can imagine all the fun we had with that, because then he would say, turn starboard. Well, I'd have to think, okay, starboard means right, and then I'd have to think, which way is right? It was not a good situation.
So many of us take that for granted, just know right and left, and it's really been a struggle. Cindy struggled with her whole life. I've struggled with it for the last 10 years, just dealing with her, struggling with it for her whole life. We've had to modify how we do things, and this is not going to be any different. In the boat, the problem that it creates is that amount of time that it takes you to think and determine which way you need to go. In that duration of time that whole thought process takes, the boat has already changed position, and I'm back there, just hanging on, hoping she does something. With the trailer, you can just stop.
I know. I have brakes. You don't have brakes with a boat.
You don't. So this, I think, will in some ways be easier for you to pick up.
I think it will be too.
Because if you ever get to the point where you just are totally confused, just stop.
Yeah.
And we don't have that luxury with the boat.
Right.
And that's what's created some interesting issues through the years.
It's really imperative to keep your sense of humor.
Definitely. So that's about it. You got the mirrors, you can see the trailer. It's not going to be as simple for you as put your hand at the bottom and turn right and turn left.
No.
Because it just that concept does not work for that group of people in the world that don't know right and left.
And will you tell them that really is?
Oh yeah. So I did Google this, and it is an actual condition. It's not something that we're making up. And there is a percentage of the population, and surprisingly, it was a pretty good sized percentage. I don't remember the exact number, but yeah, it is an actual condition where you struggle with that whole right and left.
I'm thinking maybe I could qualify for disability.
We'll look that up, but I didn't see it as an option.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So you got your mirrors set, you got your seat set. So we're just going to turn you loose here. And I would just, if I were you, I'd just try to play with it a little bit, going, straight back. Now, this one rule of thumb I will share with you. When you're learning and you're backing, you can go however far you want. In the real world, a general rule of thumb is never back any further than you absolutely have to.
Oh, okay.
So anything you can do to maneuver the vehicle to get a shorter distance to back, do that to begin with, so that you don't have to back a mile in order to do it. I had to back a mile in the dark because of high water on the road that we live on a couple months ago, and that's no fun.
Yeah, that would be hard.
So anything you can do to keep your backing distance to a minimum, do that first before you physically start backing up. But today, just for the fact that you're just trying to get it down, that rule really doesn't apply.
Right.
But in the real world, don't back any further than you absolutely have to.
Got it.
So you ready to get this show going?
Yeah. Sam turned off the squealer, which we call it the squealer. It's the buzzer that you hear in a golf cart when it's on reverse or in reverse. So we don't have to listen to it, and you guys don't have to listen to it.
And the other thing, if you're familiar with golf carts, you're going to notice that ours operates a little differently. I've rewired this so that it starts and runs with the key, so it can just sit there and idle. Unlike most golf carts, when you get off the gas, it dies. So you're going to notice that this one operates a little bit differently than most gas-powered golf carts. So let's get the GoPro set up on Cindy, and we're just going to turn her loose, and I'm going to go inside and get warm.
Good idea. I like that idea.
Me too. Okay, so after your first go at it, how did it go?
Well, definitely I have a lot to learn, and but I liked it, and I kind of thought it was fun. And when I would do something right, I'd be like, "Yay! Now what did I do? I got to repeat that." Loved having brakes.
Now, when you say brakes, you mean brakes on the golf cart, or?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
love having brakes on the golf cart.
Okay.
Because in a boat you don't have brakes.
Gotcha.
I learned that when you start to go crooked, you need to stop and adjust, because once you start going crooked, it's much harder to fix it after you've gone for a while crooked, if that makes any sense. I'm really motivated. I continue to be motivated to learn this skill. I think I can. And, I just want to say this too. Obviously, I'm not a spring chicken. So if there are any people out there that have never learned this, but thought, gee, I'd like to, I not that I'm inspirational, I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying try it. You just got to get out there and try it. And if you fail, you fail. But at least you're trying it. You won't have any regrets for not doing it.
So I watched you a little bit through the window. And
I knew you were doing that. I didn't see your face, but I could feel your presence.
Well, at one point, you got all the way back down by the garage, which is not in a straight line. And I thought, wow, she's already making turns. And then you came in and reviewed the GoPro video. And how did you do that?
I turned around. It's a lot easier to back it up if you can turn around and look. I mean, that was, I don't want to say it was a piece of cake, but that was so much easier than looking in the mirrors. And I even think it's easier looking in the rearview mirror, but I didn't make a habit of doing that because I could just hear you in my mind saying, you need to use those mirrors. You got to get used to using those mirrors. You may not be able to tell anything from the rearview mirrors. So
now, why is that?
Because with my camper,
exactly,
I'm not going to be able to see I won't be able to see my sides in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, if you turn around, you're just going to be staring at the camper.
Yeah, I know.
You can't see through it to see how to back it,
Yeah.
so you'll just be staring at a wall. So
right.
So you got to learn to reference those.
Using the mirrors is much harder, I thought. And sometimes when I was backing up, I tried to do that. Okay, if I want the trailer to go this way, I need to move my arm that way. If I want it to go that way, I need to move my arm that way. And for little bits, that worked. But once I started going crooked, it didn't matter how far I went. I just jackknifed. It didn't correct itself. It just jackknifed. So, but I had the luxury of being able to stop, pull forward, try to straighten it out, and do it again. So that's a takeaway from today. If you start to go crooked and you can't correct it in a short amount of time, just stop, pull forward. So I do know that when I get to the campground and I'm doing this, I'm choosing a time when there's not going to be very many people there. And B, I'm going to look around until I find a flat spot. I mean, it'll probably be like state forest or something where there's not very many people. But
Well,
I'm going to make my conditions the way I want them.
I think by the time we get you to that point, you're not going to be too worried about that. You'll be able to handle this. But my plan for you is, if we can do this, is to get you out here a couple times a day, every day for a week or so, just playing with this. You can come out here and do this on your own and work through it, because I taught you how to sail, and I know how your learning process is. And
what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying I know how it takes place. So the more you do it, the more frequency you have.
Definitely.
And keep it fresh in your mind. And everyone may not be like this, but you need to keep it fresh in your
mind.
I
do.
Because, if you go a couple weeks without doing it, you'll be back to square one.
Yeah, the whole memory thing.
Yeah, so.
You know what? If is anybody's watching this, they're probably thinking to themselves, I really feel sorry for that guy, because he's got his work cut out for him. And I know that's true.
Well, like I said, unlike sailing, this is going to be a piece of cake. So we'll get you out here and get you where you can do this on your own. And then we're just going to focus on the going straight and learning the basics. And then we'll get you to where you can actually get it in a spot. Because like I said, we got several spots here for you to work with. And we'll get you to that point. And then we'll step up to another trailer and then a truck, because it's going to be totally different once you get into the truck with the camper shell.
Oh, I know.
And lack of, you're going to be like in a tunnel looking outside. So
yeah.
And if I catch you cheating anymore like that, I'm going to block off that back with cardboard so you can't look through there.
I did kind of wish I had sides on this with a heater. That might have been a nice thing to have, but...
Heck, I wish I had a heater right now. The camera's shaking because I'm out there freezing.
Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you soon.